Hi, you are getting ready to leave the ninth grade community and become a 10th grader. And before we do that, we just wanted to share some important information and some tips and strategies to help you make sure that your 10th grade year is successful. So some things we want you to know about the 10th grade. 10th grade is going to be a change. We don't have teams at the 10 through 12 side, so you don't have a team study hall, and this can make seeking help a little bit more challenging. So what you will want to do is make sure that you're advocating for yourself with your teachers. You'll want to go see them individually to schedule time to get that help that you need, and that may be before school, after school, during a study hall, during their plan bell, but you will need to make sure that you're advocating for yourself. You can also get help by coming to the 10 through 12 counseling office. Your counselor next year is going to be Mrs. Inzero, and she is in the 10 through 12 office. You can come to her about scheduling, social, emotional issues, any academic questions that you have. Mrs. Inzero is going to be your first stop for those questions about the 10 through 12 side. Another thing about the 10 through 12 side is that there's definitely more flexibility. You probably noticed this while you were scheduling classes, but there are less required courses in the 10th grade than there are in the 9th grade, which means that you've had some spots open up to take new electives, more electives, courses that truly fit with your interests. So you should have been able to do that during the scheduling season, but if you have further questions, of course Mrs. Inzero is going to be your main point of contact for those questions. You also make a big pathway decision during your 10th grade year. So by pathway, I mean there are 3 graduation pathways, one of which is the career tech pathway. And this 10th grade year is when you decide whether or not you want to pursue that career tech pathway at Great Oaks. So you'll be working with Mrs. Inzero, Mrs. Emmons, and some Great Oaks representatives to kind of find out if that's the pathway you want to pursue, if there's a program there that fits with your interests and your career goals. And we'll be doing a couple of things throughout the school year to help you make that decision. The first of which being the Great Oaks meetings during English classes in December. So we'll go over all the pathways then, all the programs that are available. We'll also have field trips where you can go and actually see the programs. So lots of opportunities to decide if that's the right pathway for you. We also want to share with you some things that 10th grade students have said that they wish they would have known. So we did a survey of 10th grade students at the end of the 10th grade year and asked them, what do you wish you would have known as a 9th grader coming into the 10th grade? And here are some of the things that they've said. I should not be a procrastinator. So you want to make sure you're doing your work early and keeping yourself to certain deadlines. I wish I would have known that it would not be as difficult as I thought. So some students come into 10th grade thinking it's going to be extremely difficult, but they find that they're prepared. It's not as difficult as they thought. They should have kept their flashcard plans because when they stopped, they hurt their grades. So they wanted to make sure that they continued to use those note cards to study it, help them pace things out. They wish they would have been more organized, so flashcards would be a great example of that. They needed to learn how to take notes and study, so making sure that they're practicing those study skills. And last, more of a social thing, lunches are divided up, so not all of your grade level will be eating at the same time. We have 2 lunches at the 10 through 12, and 10 through 12 students eat at both lunches, so second and third lunch are divided up. There are some things that you should be working on this summer, though, to make sure that you're prepared for 10th grade year. And the first of which is to make sure that you complete your summer reading. So if you go to the summer reading website, you can kind of see what it looks like here. This shows you what you will be reading this summer. All students in 9 through 12 are reading Goodbye Days by Jeff Sentner. And you will want to make sure that you complete that summer reading so you're prepared for your courses. If you're planning to take an honors English class, AP English Literature, or AP English Language, you do have additional summer reading requirements, which you can find up at the top. If we go to the 10th grade, we can see that for honors English 10, you will also be reading in addition to reading Goodbye Days, you'll also be reading Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. So this is another piece that you'll want to make sure you complete. You want to make sure that you stay on top of that summer work. It's going to make your transition to 10th grade so much easier. You'll also want to check out the Naviance program that you could use to research careers and college options. You can see the link on the screen here. It's the bit.ly/MILF Naviance. And it's really important to start this process during the summer before your 10th grade if you haven't already. You want to start the research process. So whether that's just researching one or two colleges or visiting, like physically visiting one or two colleges this summer, it's a really good time frame to get that research started. You'll also want to make sure that you're doing your career research because you want to learn, what educational requirements are, whether there's training, what kind of salaries you can expect, because having that career research helps you narrow down for colleges. So we're going to take a look at the Naviance real quick, Naviance program. You will use Naviance to sign in, or you'll use your student email and your lunch code to sign in to Naviance. Up at the top here, you can kind of see that this is all of the information that you have. You can go to the career research, careers home, and you should have used this definitely during your 7th and 8th grade years. You might have checked it out a few times this year as well. But from here, you can do your career cluster finder. You can do some surveys. You can do the career interest profiler. You can take a look at your favorite careers and clusters, and you can add them, or just do some exploring. So you can just search by name. So let's say you're interested in psychology. You can click that, and it's going to give you some information. It's going to tell you kind of what the interests are, the related occupations, related majors. So when we go to do our college search, we now know that we can go to the college search tool. So if I'm going to colleges, and the Supermatch college search is going to pull up this here. You can select based on location. So if you want to do the Midwest, you can select Midwest. You can select your major. So if you want to do major, you can do psychology. And it's going to pull up schools that fit with your interests in those majors. So these are all the schools that offer that. And you want to narrow it down even more, you can say, I definitely want to do a public school. You can also narrow down by organizations and other interests that you might have. So in that, you can add the colleges that I'm thinking about, add colleges to lists. So if you know for sure that you're interested in the University of Cincinnati, you can add the University of Cincinnati to your list, and then you will be able to see it. So save selection. You can say I'm finished searching, add to colleges I'm thinking about, and now the University of Cincinnati will be listed under the colleges I'm thinking about. So you can see here, you can go to the website for the University of Cincinnati and actually get a ton more information about the school, the acceptance rates, the average price, what they're expecting to see from you as far as admissions materials. So this is a great way to research whether or not this is a school for you. You can see the acceptance rate for Milford High School there. So Naviance is a great tool. You can also meet with Mrs. Inzer if you have some questions about Naviance. It's a great tool to complete that research. So another part of your summer activities should be to start exploring your Great Oaks options. Like we said, we have presentations during English classes in December, open houses and field trips in January. You can also use Naviance to see if your career interests fit with what's offered at the Great Oaks. So their website is greatoaks.com, and you can do the high school students site, and you can learn all about their career programs. You can take a quick test to see if any of the career paths fit with you, and explore career paths by campus. Typically students from Milford will go to Live Oaks. We also have some that attend Scarlet. Some more summer activities. Community service is a great way to get involved and have some interesting new experiences. You will track those hours, and hours can be accumulated for specific awards from January to December. So if you go to the milfordschools.org website and then go to service program, you can find some information about organizations that work with Milford students and some ways to get involved. So lastly, we just want to say congratulations on finishing your 9th grade year. We're proud of all the hard work that you've completed, and we're excited to have you join us on the 10 through 12 side.